Hello and welcome to a new UiCore video tutorial. In this video, we'll take a look at the UiCore blocks. There are 4 categories of blocks available here: Basic, Composite, Advanced, and Dynamic. Let's go through each category briefly so you understand the difference. The basic blocks are the foundation, simple elements you'll use in most designs. You'll also find them inside other types of blocks, either as sub-elements or as standalone components, like maps or video. Next are the composite blocks. These are built out of multiple basic blocks grouped together, and they let you edit all elements in a synchronized way. For example, in other builders, you might have a ready-made icon card with limited settings. In UiCore blocks, the icon card is made of individual elements: an icon, a heading, a paragraph, a button, and the badge, all editable separately. That means you can select each element and see its settings in the sidebar. In this situation, let's edit the styling of the icon inside this icon card grid. When you select the icon, its styling options will appear in the right panel, and the changes will apply to all icons in the grid since they are synchronized. Right under the block title, you'll see the hierarchy. This shows you the different elements that make up the block, and you can quickly select any of them from here. Now, if you want to customize this icon card grid even further, switch to the advanced blocks. You can do that directly from this block with the transform option, or by dragging a new block from the advanced tab. The advanced blocks are similar to composite blocks, but give you more flexibility. You can reorder, remove, or add any block inside them. You can also desynchronize settings or even the whole block. These blocks are usually suited for more complex layouts. Finally, we have the dynamic blocks. These are designed to display data from different sources. For example, you can insert the post title or post date, or pull data from custom fields like advanced custom fields, the logged in user's name, or even a URL parameter. Now, in this video, we'll focus on the basic blocks, and in the following videos, we'll cover composite, advanced, and dynamic blocks in more detail. Let's start with the container, since this is the base structure for every section of your site. A container can be set to either full width or boxed, depending on whether you want it to stretch across the entire screen or stay within a fixed width. You can also nest containers inside one another, technically without limit, though in practice it's best to keep the structure simple to avoid unnecessary complexity. In this case, we have a 2-column layout made from 2 containers placed in another parent container. In the settings, you will find a set of shortcut controls that make it easy to work with layout. For example, you can switch the display mode between block, flex, grid, or inline. With flex enabled, you can set the direction of your content, stacked vertically, side by side horizontally, or reversed. In this situation, we'll want to set it horizontally, so our 2 containers are displayed side by side. The align and justify options let you control how items are positioned along each axis, making it simple to center elements or space them evenly. There's also a gap control that lets you define the spacing between columns and rows without manually adjusting margins or padding. Speaking of which, you also have padding and margin controls here, where you can fine-tune the space inside and around the container. I'll add some padding to this layout to make it cleaner. For sizing, you can also set a custom width or a minimum height, which is useful for creating full-height hero sections or other specific height sections. On top of the layout options, the container also has full styling controls, so you can apply backgrounds, colors, gradients, and other visual settings. I'll add a background color to the main container, then a background image to one of my nested containers. Also, I think it would be nice to add some border radius to this section to match my existing design. Next is the headline block. Here you can change the heading tag, apply background colors or gradients, highlight text, add inline images, dynamic data, links, and more. If the headline contains a number, you can even enable a counter effect directly from the settings. The paragraph block works the same way as the headline, but uses different tags: span, or paragraph. The button block inherits its global styles automatically. The text uses the same inline toolbar as the headline and paragraph. Here you can add an icon or even an image. For For example, let's add an icon. I'll search for the arrow icon and set it to a smaller size. Now I'm going to change the button layout to flex and then reverse the direction. Let's also set a small gap between the icon and the text to make it look a bit better. For hover effects, you can set the icon to move slightly. For example, if we change to the hover state and add a translate of 5 pixels, the arrow will move in the direction we applied the translate effect. At this step, don't forget to click the Inherit Hover button that we talked about in the first video, so the hover effect will be applied when hovering over the whole block. The image block lets you upload directly from the media library or from an external URL. The images are automatically optimized to serve the right size for each device. They're also lazy loaded if they're not in view, but you can change the loading mode manually if you want to fine-tune performance for your layout. You can also set a custom displayed size, for example, like 500 by 600 pixels. Now, the image is displayed at a different aspect ratio than it originally was, but we can fix this by adjusting the object fit option to cover. To make the image stand out, I can apply a mask from the Style tab. And just like all the other style settings, masks are available on every block. Great, now our image looks way better, and we didn't need any image editing software to achieve that. Of course, there are more basic blocks we haven't shown here, like divider, icon, and video, as well as interesting ones such as the AI block or maps, which we'll cover later. And that's the overview of UiCore Blocks. We went through the 4 main categories: basic blocks, composite blocks, advanced blocks, and dynamic blocks. In the upcoming videos, we'll go deeper into the composite, advanced, and dynamic blocks, so you can see how they work and how to use them effectively in your own designs.